Greetings, Internet, and welcome to Aaron Plays, and I hope you're doing fantastically well. This will be episode, I think we're on to episode 20 now of my playthrough of Into the Woods by GMT. And we have just had Hindman having his now third activation. That was a kit that was drawn out, which means we're probably going to do a few differences than we've seen in the previous 19 episodes. Okay, so let's move this out of the way and let's bring up the sequence of play. So we have got his AM draw, and it's a change orders phase is the first thing. We need to change some orders now. I'd like to probably change at least two brigades. Shaver's brigade and wherever he is, Wood's brigade here. How do we change orders? Well, we tried it last time, so let me just bring up the chart. Okay, range chart. Brigade orders change chart. Let's show that on here again. So change orders phase. So we're declaring we're just going to change those because I think Claiborne's still got to struggle across marsh and stream and so on. So we'll start with Shaver, who is here. Bring that chart back up. Okay. Is the Brigadier stacked with his divisional leader? No. Brigadier stacked with his corps overall commander? No. And Brigadier's orders ratings? Okay. His order rating is 0. I don't know now. I'm going to double check on Johnson because he can do some weird shit in this battle. So let's see if he can influence that. I don't know if he's within command range. Okay, I think I'm going to need to show what Johnson can do. So there are chances of him actually interceding here. Okay, so let's bring this up. A.S. Johnson's special ability. He's got 4 special abilities that he can use each turn. And he can use all 4 in one turn. He can only do each one of these once per turn. If he does these, he takes a risk of a leader loss check. It's effectively showing that he has personally moved this counter over here. Right, let's just highlight it. This counter here is representing him and his staff. But when we're using his special abilities, that's him going right up to the front and urging and getting people to get going, which obviously accumulates a risk. And that's one of the reasons how he actually died. So his 4 abilities, bring this shot back up. Okay, aggressive brigadiers. Now he's got a command range of 10 when he's using this, unless he moved more than 10 movement points, which he didn't in the previous leader movement phase in the 6 a.m. turn. So he's got his full command range on this. So it's got them in order, aggressive order, which is not the same order in the rule book, but we'll do it as it's shown on the screen there. So each brigade, brigadier is an English word, sorry. You Americans say brigade general. Okay. So each brigade leader under attack orders is treated as an aggressive brigadier. I do use the word brigadier. My apologies. They receive a +1 if stacked with shocking troops. This effect lasts through any command continued shock. Okay, so that could be useful. Auto attack orders. He may place any brigade under attack orders automatically, even if they failed an attempt during the change orders phase. So even if these 2 commanders, Wood and the guy that's under the little sheet here, I can't remember all their names, Shaver, you might be able to get them going as change their orders to attack. The next one on there, green units. Green regiments may still shock even if they failed their green attacker commitment check. The green units can either start or end their movement in Johnson's command range for this benefit. So that's also useful. And any time after the first, the last one there, extra activation. Any time after the first AM has been played, but before the last AM of the turn is played, Johnson may activate any one brigadier in his command range before the next AM is drawn. The Brigadier and any units of brigade within range of the Brigadier or Johnson are considered to be in command. Units not within range of their Brigadier or Johnson are not included in this activation. This activation does not subtract from the number of available activations for that brigade, but always counts towards fatigue regardless of the unit actions. So this activation does not subtract from the number of available actions. It's basically a free action, free activation. Now, if he does any of those or all of those, he will have to suffer a leader loss check above the normal that you get if you were stacked with units. That is before 12 noon. After 12 noon, he has to automatically take a leader loss check at the end of the turn. And if he does any of those special abilities, he will get a modifier to doing that. Yeah, he was definitely having a death wish. But okay, so we've got options there now because we're in the change order phase. We are declaring we want to change Shaver's orders and Wood's orders. Now, Shaver we're going to try it the normal way first, and if they fail, then we'll get Johnson to see if well, I know he's in range. Okay, so that's the chart we're looking at. Okay. So we know Brigadier is not stacked with his divisional leader, and he's not stacked with his corps oval commander, and his rating is 0. So it's a straight roll. High is good. And he rolls a 5, which is change and stand. So his orders will become attack, but he stands. He doesn't want to have that. So he does want the change of attack orders, but we don't want the stand part. So Johnson does have to physically kick his ass. So Shaver changed to attack. Can we just flip that? There we go. And Johnson on his little chart has, and he might have to do it for Wood as well. But how am I going to show that on there? Is there a special? Oh, I know. We'll just use one of my actual, not scale open trail. No, general marker. There we go. We'll put that on auto attack orders. Boom. Oh, isn't that tiny? Huh. Okay. All right. Yeah, auto attack orders done. So Wood, if we look at Johnson's command range, that's 1. So start from there. This is along the road. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He puts, as he's already done it for here, I'm not going to make the roll for Wood. Not necessary. Because he can do it for place any brigade. Oh, sorry, any brigade. Ah, I thought it might be 2 brigades. It's only 1. Okay. Let's wait on that. So we might not have used it under Shaver. Let's have a look at Wood's. I thought it was 2 brigades you could do it to. Right, let's see what happens with Wood. He's got the same, or has he? Has he got anything a bit more different than Wood? Has got +1. Yeah, he's quite keen. Okay, +1 at this roll. Okay, he rolls a 6. +1 that's a change. Okay, so we don't have to use Sidney Johnson for that. So boom, flip that. Okay, and I say Claiborne we're keeping under those orders. So that's representing. So that's again representing Johnson and his staff. But when we use these special abilities, that's basically Johnson's come up to here and telling Shaver to get a move on. It can't loiter. All right. That's the order changes for Hindman's, and the wrong chart up. And the question is, now do we want to brigade coordinate them? In other words, both brigades activate at the same time. Why would you want to do that? Because we haven't really discussed why we'd want to do that. Well, each opposing unit gets a reaction per activation facing them. So what that means, if we activate Schaefer and he moves forward, let's say he gets to there and then shoots, this guy can shoot back. Then we activate Hindman and he moves and shoots, he can shoot back. But if we activated both of them at the same time, he only gets one shot per activation, and that'll be classed as one activation. Now, the question is, it's a bit risky. So let's have a look on here. Brigade coordination table. So it's the division leader's coordination rating. Okay, so it's Hindman. Oh, he's got 3 numbers that I can't remember which one's which. All right, let me just get to the page in the book. Hindman, division leaders. Brigade coordination is the top number. So he's got a +1 on that. Okay. Division leaders coordination, it seems to be the only modifier. So we'd need a 7 to 9 to get them all going. And a 3 to 6 fail, no penalty. They just activate per normal, but 0 to 2 confusion. No, we don't really want confusion. No more combat actions activation. No, it's too risky. Considering we just used Johnson to get them moving, to actually do a coordination is too risky, in my mind. Okay, so we're under attack orders. Let's go. Because that's the next step. We decided we're not going to do brigade coordination. Action phase, we've got to choose which brigade to activate first. I think we'll do wood. Okay, so we're going to start at the end of the line. That's 1. Right, they've only got half movement here. 2.5. Yeah, 1.5. Yeah, it's 2.5. Okay, and he's going to fire into the 25th MO, which I presume is Missouri. Yeah, MO, I think it'll be Missouri. And it's the 9th Arkansas. Okay, there's only 3 steps firing. And he fires into, oh, this is a non-green unit, so actually a pretty good unit. So it's rifled muskets. Which at 2 hex range is +1. Firing through the wood, into the wood. So it's -2, so it's net -1. That's it. Can't see anything else. And they roll an 8. There's only 3 increments firing with an 8, which is a net -1. There's a D+1 on that Union unit, and they roll a 0. They love it. Loving it. Remember, 0 is low in this system. Okay, and they're going to return the shot. Now, they've got 4 increments per hex. That means that all 8 can fire back. Okay, I'm looking at the terrain. Could they have actually made that shot? Because that hex there is higher than that hex there. It's a gradual slope. It's going straight down. Yes. If that's wrong, I'm terribly sorry. I'm fine. Must admit, I find the canopy rules and what can see what a little bit confusing. To me, that's a gradual slope going down. I think they can see there. If it's wrong, okay, shoot me. Okay, so there's 8 increments firing down. I just had to double check that there has to be a minimum of 8 increments to be able to form standard extended line. So I was right there. Okay, so there's 8 firing down, and you're going to have pretty much the same modifiers. Other than they've got muskets, so they're not as effective. Musket is at 2 hex range -1. Then it's net -3. Okay, but they roll a 9. They roll a 9 with 8 increments. Take away 1, 2, 3 is a D+2 on the shot back. D+2 on the shot back. Okay, they roll a 4 by 6. They are okay as well. Right. Now, but that's his one shot per this activation. He can't do it again. So I'm gonna mark him as moved to show that they've actually fired. I can't do that to the actual extended marker. All right. Continuing. 1.5, 3. Now, if he fires onto that unit, I can't return fire because they've already done so at that unit. If he fires on that unit, now I'm not sure. It looks like it's coming down the flank, but because it's in the frontal hex of that unit, it's not classed as a flank shot. I think that's right. I know that's right in most games, but I know there's also a refused right marker and a refused left marker. But I think for this, that's what I was thinking. I better just double check. Okay, that infantry unit there, 12th, I presume Missouri, MI, has to try. Yeah, that is exposed at the present moment by the looks of it. My mistake. So he's going to try and refuse his flank, and it's called a reaction refusal facing change. There we go. That's a mouthful. He's got to undergo a UDD as that unit approaches into that hex there. So his morale is 6. He rolls a 0, gets +1 because it's unit. That's fine. So he can now put a refuse left-right marker there on that. Let's flip that. Okay. We need to change that facing. How do we do that? There we go. Effectively, he's now got a frontage of that and that hex as well. I probably need to do that a little bit more. Does that make more sense? Yeah, there we go. So he's got, from that unit there, he's got a frontage there, there, and there. As this Confederate unit, he can only do that once per activation, and he can't refuse on both flanks. Okay. But this unit here is actually going to fire onto this one here. So it's muskets, which at adjacent range is +2. It's actually a bit more devastating than rifle once you get in close. So it's +2. So there's no wood, extra woods they're flying through. So it's just -1 for the woods. That's it. Net +1. Okay, he rolls a 7. 7. Now there are all 6 increments of fire with a 7. That's a straight D, as in it's a big D. That means there's no morale check required. He flips and is disordered. That's a good result. Okay, pushing onwards. 1.5, 3. Remembering he couldn't fire back because he'd already committed his fire against that unit. All right, so this unit fires into there. Okay. 1.5. So it's 5 increments. 5 rifle muskets is +1. I think that's about it. +1. That's right. No, it's not. +1 and -1 for the adjacent wood and -1 for the woods that's occupied. So it's net -1. And that's a 6. -1 is a 5. 5, and there are 5 steps. That's a D +1. Not just a D, a 5. Now, for ammo depletion results, use the natural non-modified die roll. So if we roll a natural 5, there's a chance of ammo depletion. So it was a 6 that became a 5. Okay, so it's a straight D result. Remember that the union are adding 1 to their actual results, and they've rolled a 1 becomes a 2. They're okay. Right, the return fire. Now, there are 15 increments, and it says 5 increments or steps in that unit. So he fires back with 5 steps. Do you remember that that will be that part of the unit that's fired? That part has not. Yes, you can split the fire of a unit between different targets and even in different activations, as long as each part, or effectively each step, only fires once. So again, he's at 2 hex range. That's it. Yeah, he's at 2 hex range. That's -2. They are armed with muskets. Muskets at 2 hex range is -1, so it's net -3 on the union roll. Okay. 8 becomes 5. So again, it's only 5, and there are 5 steps. That's a little d on the Confederate unit, and he rolls a 4, so he's okay. Right. So we know, I keep saying we know. I don't want to forget. I mean, I could be called, receive a phone call, and I'll have completely forgotten where I am, what I'm doing, etc. So I'm going to have to put a little marker on there to show that we know that that part of the unit has fired. Okay. Next unit moving forward, he's going to go 1.5, 3, and will fire. So it's +1. No, plus, yeah, rifle musket is +1. -1 for the wood, so it's a straight roll. Four. You've got 6 steps with a 4 is a little d. Okay, they roll a 0, so they're loving it. Okay, but they can't fire back. Okay, and this guy can go 1.5, 3. Yeah. 1.5, 3, and will fire on the detachment here, which would be okay. Rifle musket at 2 hex range is +1. 2 lots of woods in the way, so that, well, 1 in the way and 1 in the hex, so that takes it to -1. Firing detachment -2. Okay, so -2. There's 6 increments firing. Rolls a 1. 6 increment firing. No effect. That detachment can't fire back because he's got covered arc. Let's say it's elsewhere. Of there. So that's him done. The cavalry. I'm just going to move them across. Now these guns. Their guns are always under advance orders rather than attack orders, even if the brigade is under attack orders. So they could move. But we've got to take the risk. If they go into there, that's within 3 hexes of that unit. Can we fire? We definitely can't fire there because let me just check that. Okay, they're going to risk it for a biscuit. So that's 1.5. +1 for the streams, 2.5 into there. They've now got to do a UDD. Oh no, they're not in line of sight. Yeah, they can only stick to this. So it's if they move into that hex. Let's do it. Yeah, they're going in there. All right, so we've got enough movement points. Let's see, 1.5, 3. Oh, no, that's not right. 1.5, 2.5, plus another 1.5 is 4. So they can actually even fire. But first of all, they've got to get there. Okay. So archery units Ending its move within 2 hexes and line of sight of enemy units adds 2 to DRM for its UDD, in addition to the DRM for qualifying enemy units described above. Okay, so it's plus equal to the number of enemy units within 3 hexes. So they're going to get the UDD with +3. That's a bit risky, because that means they need to roll 0 to 4 to pass. Do I really not to risk those guns? No, no, we won't do that. That's a little bit too blasé. Right. Okay. Where's Wood himself? There he is. He's got another unit here, so they can now cross 1.5 plus the stream. Oh, plus the gully. 1.5 for the woods, plus 1 for the stream. 2.5 plus 3.5. Well, they can go 1 hex. That's as far as they can go. All right. This infantry brigade here. Brigade, regiment. You can go into there. That's 1.5. That's effectively it again. 1.5, 2.5 for the stream. As far as they can go. Okay. Wood himself, we need to get across. I want him quite close to Hindman. So I think that looks okay. Right. We haven't moved Hindman yet, but we now need to put an A3, because this is Wood's 3rd activation there. Let's delete that. And just as a reminder, he is under attack orders. Okay. That's the movement fine. Now, do we want to shock? I think the answer is going to be yes. We've only got 2 potential shocks, which is this one here and this one here. So we have to speaking the English, we have to show which units are going to shock. Is it this marker? Shock, check here, right. There are any other ones? Shock, 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 shock. Doesn't seem to be. No. All right. So those are the only shock markers. So we're going to put 1 on that unit and 1 on that unit. 2 shock. Now, they at least this unit is within Johnson's command range, which is half. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. By the end of his chinny chin chin, and if he is within command range, that makes him. What was the actual way they worded it? Green regiments may still shock. Each brigade leader under attack orders is treated as an aggressive brigader. They receive +1 if stacked with shocking troops. Okay, so we've actually had to move Wood up into that hex, so he's not going to get any additional bonus for that. No. We could have moved Wood. Now I've learnt that rule. Let's do that. So I'm running at the same time. So he has enough movement points to get. What does he? He's got 10. Crossing the stream and the gully. Oh, yes. Leader movement potential. Yes, there's a separate little part for the turret leaders. Do they suffer the cost of going up through gullies? They don't. Okay. And crossing streams. Yeah, there's streams. No, they don't either. That's interesting. And the boundaries. That's 1.5, 2.5, 3, 4.5. So yeah, he will go and support that attack. Wow. Okay. So the whole spiel of things we've got to do when we actually come into shop. We've just done the first one. which is declare the units. I seem to have lost my charts and tables. There they are. That are going to shock. Now, I'm not sure if the PDF is up to date on that, but let's have a look. And I can. That's the PDF. Let's bring it up. Okay. Brigade coordination. I don't have to worry about that. The fire table. Rally. Oh, isn't the shock on here? Got two lots of brigade orders. Well, that's not very good, is it? No. Okay. Sorry. Can't show it. Right. Okay. Shock resolution procedure. Designate all targets of shock and charges. There was no charge there. A charge would be if they went in and didn't fire. They did fire. So they're going in gradually rather than just going in gung-ho. Okay. I need to put that A3 marker next to wood. All right. Perform retreat before shock. Now, I believe as these are under attack orders, they cannot retreat before shock, but it doesn't hurt to check. Yeah, it's specifically units under attack orders cannot retreat before shock, so they're standing. Green attacker commitment check. Okay, so this unit here doesn't have. I'm going to move it to the side there. Doesn't have a G like these ones do, so he's not green. 16th Alabama is not green, whereas this one is. So he's got to do the green commitment check. But we know he's been influenced by Mr. Johnson. But where he can only do it once per unit per turn. So we'll see if he goes in. And the green commitment check is effectively a UDD. And well, he's got a plus. There's no modifier. I think there is a modifier for wood. We'll see if it's necessary. He rolls a 3, so it's not necessary. They're in. They're keen. I don't know what the rebel yell sounds like, but they're doing it. Okay. Defensive pre-shock cohesion check. 11.37. So I'm going to check that now. Yeah, it's a long time since I've done this. So each of those defending units has to take a UDD. Okay, remembering that the Union are taking a +1. So we'll start with this one. He's already disordered. He's got a 5, and he's got +1 on the dice. Okay, he rolls a 5, +1, 6, so he's failed. He's already disordered, so we now actually have to check the second disorder table to see what actually happens to him. Okay, I'm sure there was a special rule for this as well. US special route check from second disorder from fire. This is not from fire. Okay, right. So there's various options on the second disorder table. Again, I'm going to have to get these up. So reaction, pre-shock cohesion check. Okay, so his infantry. So he's failed. So now we've got to roll again. If he passes, he just loses 1 step and then retreats 1 or 2 hexes. If he fails, he routs. And he gets +1 on this, so his morale is 5. He rolls a 9. They buckle completely. They rout. Okay, so when a unit routs, it's placed into its leader's box on here. Okay, so this is apprentices, so I'll place it into there. The routed box there. Extended line marks will be deleted. This is all happening simultaneously, but it does say if a unit adjacent to a route has to go through a UDD. So, and it says immediately. So we're going to do that immediately. So his is 6, but we've got a +1. Okay, he rolls a 7, +1's 8. They're not happy. So they now disorder from that. Oh, just got to flip the unit. and seeing their buddies go, which is not good for them because now they've still got a UDD to do now for these guys coming at them, because we're in the step of pre-shock defenders pre-shock cohesion check. We do all the units do their pre-shock, and then we move on to the next step in this shock resolution procedure. Okay, so now it has to do its check, pre-shock check. The +1. This is not looking good. Okay, he rolls an 8. He's not happy either. Okay, that's the second case disorder. Pre-shock cohesion check. All right, so he's got to pass this, otherwise he will rout as well. All right, so G4 is not great. He rolls a 4. Oh, there's +1, isn't there? Go for the union. 5. He fails. He routs. So it's, even though it's just this part of the unit, it affects the whole unit. He routs as well. That is not good. Okay, I'll take his 15 marker with him, and let's delete the extended. That's now not relevant. And that's not relevant. Okay, so we've actually not engaged in any shockers yet. They just routed as soon as we get near them, but I think we just carry on the procedure. Okay, pre-shock reaction fire, there is none. So what actually happens there? I think we just advance into the hexes, but I better double check. Okay, those units must advance into the hexes that were shocking. That's it. There was no actual shock. They just basically went boom, and the Union units went, oh, get out of dodge. Right. Put his activation marker on there. If there had been other enemy units adjacent, I think they could have continued the shock, but that's not the case now. That's just a straight advance. Do they accumulate fatigue? I think it's only fatigue accumulation if there was actual fisticuffs involved. Let me double check on that. No, it's only if there's actually fisticuffs involved, they would accumulate. So that, I think, concludes Wood's activation, which we've now placed his marker on. And you know what? That took a bit of time. So we're gonna end the video there and continue in the next video, which will be 21. Shavers and maybe claymores as well. So okay, let's go back to the top. Well, those two units just collapsing, showing how brittle they are. Yeah, maybe I shouldn't. Well, I tried to get them back out of attack orders. It didn't work, and that's the consequences. 2 units routed. Now, routed units, I mean, it's one thing I do actually like about the system. A lot of games you have routed units flitting around the back of the board and all that. This just gets rid of them. And they move to the actual designation sheets, the order of battle sheets. They can come back if that brigade is put under, or brigade or division is put under reserve, and then you get the chances of rallying them and such forth. But yeah, it gets them out of the way, and it provides less clutter. They're not going to do anything on the field, so they're just gone. And I say I do like that as a system. So yeah, the first actual attack shooting. I've done one brigade, and you can see how it does slow down, doesn't it? And I'm trying to keep these videos, as I said before, as short as possible. But anyway, next episode will be shavers and probably claymores as well, depending on how long shavers take. I should imagine it'll take a little bit less because we've got those annoying little detachments. Got the word? Yeah, there you go. Anyway, until next time, remember to like and subscribe if you could. That would really help the channel. And any compliments? I'll accept any compliments. comments, but compliments are good too. Thank you. But any comments? Again, did I do everything right? I'm not sure. It's a long time since I've got to this stage. Movement is fairly easy. The line of sight, I'm not 100% certain, but it just seemed logical. You know, gradual slope, if you're shooting through the trees, downwards boom. If I got that wrong, okay, but I'll just have to apply it consistently. There's only me, and there's you watching, and if it's not 100% spot on, say lovey. Both sides are going to suffer it. Yeah, play games, have fun. Until next time, bye, internet. And now I've got to find the button.